and welcome to the Crypto Jungle. My name is Baloo the Bear, and here on the channel we keep crypto simple. We just look at charts that are very simple to understand, support, resistance, volume, using the Wyckoff method. So if that's something that interests you, then consider hitting the subscribe button, and let's get into it. Today I want to talk about Bitcoin. Nothing substantial is in terms of developments since the last time I was here on Friday, but we will... Friday? What day is it today? Yeah, on Friday. But we'll go over the market regardless. We're holding support. I do hold the conviction that we are on support. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few altcoins. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all crypto, and that is Bitcoin. All right. Aloha I Melikala Maka Jungle Tribe. Yeah, you're gonna have to spell. You're gonna have to sound that one out for me. All right, so we just got our daily close, or we are just about to get our daily close here on Bitcoin. I've got the 200 period moving average here, which is holding support. This is the area of interest right now. You know, we've got our line in the sand that we've had drawn for several weeks now. This is a very important level. It's put up or shut up time for crypto. This is all coming in the context of a pretty bearish market overall across equities, commodities, you name it, the world's falling apart. Lots of fears around the Omicron variant, which is affecting the financial markets, but does any of that actually matter? No, I don't think so. So we'll take a look at the charts, and we will see what the market is deciding is appropriate. So this is the area that I want to focus in on, because this is the area that's on top of support. We have a few bullish things that are occurring in this area. First of all, we're on top of the 200 period moving average, which is always good. Secondly, we're on top of a macro support / resistance flip. Thirdly, we've had a ton of selling. You know, people have had plenty of opportunity to sell, and we have some divergence occurring. So the divergence, for those who are unaware, it is when the oscillator or the momentum measuring tool, you know, you can use the MACD, you can use the RSI, you can use stochastics. There's plenty of oscillators out there for you to choose from, but what's occurring is there's an increase in effort and there's an increase in velocity to defend this area. As the price is making lower lows, the RSI is making higher lows. So there is a disagreement between those two indicators. If you're ever struggling to try and identify a divergence, there's regular divergence, hidden bullish divergence, exaggerated divergence. It's all kind of overcomplicated. Really, in my opinion, all a divergence is a disagreement between the lows for bullish. If your lows disagree, meaning we have lower lows and higher lows, that's bullish. When the highs disagree, that's bearish. So that pretty much sums it up for identifying bullish or bearish divergences. You don't need to study a chart and figure, well, this one has higher lows and then that one has lower highs. Like, no. If the lows disagree, it's bullish. If the highs disagree, it's bearish. That's all you need to know. So, you know, we're holding this area right now. Usually when we hold a support area, or at least in the past, we had a reaction back here that held support, or it needed to prove to the market that it was support for approximately 10 days. We did it again back here, approximately 11 days. And where we are currently is at, a little bit longer, but still 16 days. The longer we spend in this area holding above the 200 and holding above this macro support area, the better. I am still of the conviction that we are in a bull market. I have not changed my bias on that. I'm not taking any trades. I'm adding to long-term positions, but that is, you know, behavior that is outside of what price is doing, and I have not invalidated my main thesis, which is that we are still in a bull market. If we start to close some high time frame candles below 43,000, I will begin to flip that bias to bearish, and we will be looking at long months ahead of accumulation with downside as well. But until that happens, Happy days. Happy days. Discounts are us. Let's take a look at it. Ethereum, again, Ethereum is really holding structure in a much more positive way. We're able to, let's actually do a side-by-side. Let's do a side-by-side with Bitcoin. We'll take Ethereum for the last year, and we'll take Bitcoin for the last year. Now, look at the structure between these two. Let me get rid of the volume here. We can see that when Bitcoin rallied off of the lows, it was able to just barely get above its previous highs. So here's kind of the all-time high, or the previous all-time high. We upthrust, reacted back down, normal, came back up again, got rejected, and have been in a downtrend ever since. When we look at Ethereum, its structure is just not like that. We can see that we got above it once, we got it above it twice, like what occurred down here. But we have not been in a downtrend back down to support. We have not come down and tested this area just yet in Ethereum. Now, if Bitcoin continues to be bearish, and if the market does head down, absolutely we're heading back down to those levels. So we'd be looking at a $3,000 Ethereum, but it hasn't done that, and it's held a lot of resiliency at the upper end of this range. That's showing that there's just a lot of intrinsic demand for the use of the Ethereum network, and we can see that in the gas fees. We can see that in a lot of the applications that are being developed. DeFi 2.0, there's plenty of demand still present for Ethereum that just doesn't seem to be there when we take a look at, say, Bitcoin. So this is really good. This is a good kind of precursor for an altcoin season. This is a good signal to the market. There is still retail participation, and that people are looking at Ethereum. Ethereum is definitely, it's got the demand here. We also have that same kind of divergence that is occurring, less so here on Ethereum. But what's nice about Ethereum on the RSI is we're still in the bullish control zone of the RSI, staying above 40 on Ethereum. When compared to Bitcoin, we're below, trying to overtake, get back into that 40 zone of the bullish control zone on Bitcoin. So Ethereum overall, structurally, fundamentally, retail participation and adoption wise, is doing a lot better than what we're seeing with Bitcoin. Olympus, still one of the most one of my favorite projects in all of crypto, period. It's a hell of a discount. You know, I can't tell you guys what to do. I really can't. I can't make financial advice. I'll get in trouble. But this is definitely worth your attention. Do your own research. Pay attention to what's going on with Olympus DAO, because they're one of the most innovative projects in all of crypto. It's a top 3 coin for me. This is a top 3 coin, and we are at a severe discount. I have been, this is the asset that I mentioned earlier that I was still dollar cost averaging into and accumulating at these levels. Let's quickly just catch up with chat here and see what we got. L Dogs, how's it going? Polisco, how's it going? Dingo ate my Satoshis. Howdy. Patty, hello. Camille, welcome in. Marcy, hello. Kahuna, awesome. Okay, so L Dogs is saying, hey Blue, started to play around with Anchor, currently 19% on UST. Seems like a decent spot to make passive income with some of my profits. Do you think we'll see more decks like Thor Swap connecting UST and USDC? Aave and others don't seem to have the APY anymore. Yeah, so I anticipate us seeing UST, which is the dollar pair of the Luna network. It's already starting to show up in a lot of different decentralized applications. With Aave, the APY is much less. What is nice about the APY that's denominated on platforms like Aave is it's paid out in the asset that you're holding. So you can get higher APYs on other coins if you're wanting, say, the governance token of that coin. For example, SushiSwap, you can stake Geom. You can stake Geom with the Ethereum pair and get a boost of Sushi. But if you're wanting a stable play, Anchor is the best. Anchor is the best for stables. The UST coin is becoming more and more popular. We're seeing it accepted on Curve. You're seeing it pop up on MStable. You're seeing it pop up in the treasury of Olympus. You're seeing it start to make its appearances in different locations. So I do think that UST under the current environment is here to stay. My one criticism for UST, and again, it's kind of a weak criticism, but I will mention it, is the team of Luna, Terra. It's a very public team. The one thing I don't like about a public team is you can sue them. You can create drama. You can target them. You can, ban certain customers, obviously the US and stuff like that. So for those reasons, I want to see how these types of scenarios play out in the regulatory drama that will more than likely come. Listen here, like we're printing money. We're printing stablecoins. We have stablecoin derivatives. That's going to have regulation one day. So if it's much easier to take a team and a company to court over allegations, whether they're founded or not, you still have to show up in court and defend yourself. It's a lot easier to target individuals than it is to target autonomous lines of code on the internet. So there will be kind of a battle of the stablecoins, I would imagine. But in the meantime, UST, there's no drama. There's no drama on stablecoins. And as far as a passive stablecoin yield, you're not going to beat 19%. It's one of the better strategies, one of the safer strategies out there. There are ways for you to kind of use, abracadabra to boost your yield on stables, but it's far less safe. Whereas staking on Anchor, getting 19% on stables, that's currently unbeaten in the market overall. So it's a really good passive strategy for sure. How does UST get into the Ethereum virtual machine? Is Luna Ethereum virtual machine compatible? I'm going to have to assume that it is. I don't know enough about the Terra ecosystem overall to know if they're creating some sort of derivative, but yeah, it's showing up. It's there. It's on a lot of Ethereum apps, so it is there. Yeah, let's take a look at some other. You know what? Let's take a look at Luna since we're on the topic here. Luna, we were discussing. We wanted to be on the lookout for a range that was developing down here, and I said the invalidation of a larger trading range developing would be to get some daily candle closes above the highs, which we've done. So it's looking good for Luna. We could see probably an expansion, another expansionary period of Luna. Not investment advice. If you don't know how Luna works, please do your own research. But it is quite an interesting project that has a lot of potential to reach, well, sky's the limit, really. It's purely based on user adoption. The more stables are out there, the higher the price is for Luna because the supply just drops further and further and further. So yeah, it's looking good. We're at $80 and we could see a breakout here. So I'm going to want to watch this and see if we can hold this level above this new support. If we start ticking to the upside, chances are it's going to be a continuation. So be on the lookout for Luna. Yeah, the links, my bot won't let you post links. And that's just for spam purposes. Jonathan Dominguez, yo. Okay, so let's take a look at another one that I'm quite fond of, and that's Avalanche. So Avalanche is another side chain. There's plenty of side chains out there these days to choose from, but Avalanche is proving to be a market winner in a lot of respects. Matic and Avalanche have the most dApp adoption, application adoption, and developer adoption. I don't know the finer intricacies as to why developers prefer Avalanche, but they do, and we're seeing a lot of user adoption as the developers have decided to adopt Avalanche. So Same sort of thing that we'd be looking for here on Avalanche, although I would prefer us to actually be range bound at this area, because I think that I would like to increase my position size on Avalanche. So if we start to take off here, well, it is what it is. I have some Avalanche positions, you know, LPing Geo, but I would like to accumulate more and build some of those positions out. So I would prefer to see us be range bound and continue trading sideways for a while, but what I prefer is completely irrelevant. So I'd be watching this range right here. Oops. And watch how we break above this level right here. You know what, let's just get rid of this. This is the line to beat. If we can close a bar above this high, so you're looking at 120, get a close above 120, that's going to be a pretty good signal to the market that we're ready for a markup event, a further markup event inside of Avalanche. So definitely a lot of altcoins poised for a continuation of their markup. Poised, positioned, however you want to say it. There is a lot of potential for some of these alts to go, but they all rely heavily on the backs of, or on the permission of Big Daddy Bitcoin. So until we can prove support and begin to trend out of this area, the altcoins haven't got a prayer, really. Let's jump down to the smaller time frame here on Bitcoin and take a look at this local support range that's developing. See if we can kind of break this down a little bit further. Kind of looks like a falling wedge pattern at this point. So let's draw that out. Yeah, bodies, wicks, what are we using? What are we doing? Let's actually check the 4-hour here. We're taking moves to the downside, so lower highs and lower lows. So that trend will continue. As it stands for the local trend, we haven't broken any structure yet. So how we repair the trend in the local low time frame range is we need to get above 48,000. Once we get above 48,000, the next level to beat is going to be 50,000. So these are some nice psychological levels for a reversal. If we can get above that, then it's probably going to go quickly. I anticipate if we start closing dailies above 50,000, we'll be on a rally again. So it's not going to take much, I believe, to get a rally started in this general area. But first things first is we have to break this downward sloping line of resistance. So that's the first level right here. We can draw support, but typically personally, I don't like drawing support on patterns when, like, I pick a side. What's the side I want to take? If I'm short, draw the support. Okay, if I'm looking for a short setup, draw the support. If I'm looking for a long setup, draw the resistance. You don't need the other side. So understand the macro. We looked at the macro. We could see the support range. If it truly is a support, we need to watch that range for a reversal. And that's it. If we're taking the long side, that's it. So we're looking for the resistance. So I don't worry about the support. I couldn't care less because we're in a downtrend. So the support has a high likelihood of breaking. There's no point in counting on this support to hold, this small time frame support to hold. There's no point. So just don't even draw it. Don't give yourself hope. Don't give yourself a false narrative that's not there. The important thing for when you're going long is a break of resistance. You don't give a fuck about support. You only care about resistance. So just draw the resistance, keep your chart clean. Oh, we got Praise Shack on Telegram. The world would be a better place if there were more people. We gotta give it up for Tina. Thank you, Tina. You know, if we had more people like Tina, the world would be just an incredibly good place. So thank you, you worthless scammer, getting on my YouTube and shilling your garbage. You freaking piece of shit. God, I really hate scammers. They just cloud up everything that we're trying to do. We're trying to build a better system. We're trying to build a better mousetrap. You fucking worthless scammers are just creating a terrible image for cryptocurrency. You're just holding us all back for your own self-interest and your own greed. And it's so transparent. Like, I take 1 second. It takes me less than a second to look at you and be like, scammer, fuck you. Just get out. Get a life. Go do a real job. Why don't you make the world better? Why do you want to spend your entire life and all of your energy making the world a shittier place? Make the world a better place. Fuck. Just get out of here. All right. So that was Avalanche. That was Bitcoin. So we need to break that downtrend here. We talked about Avalanche, which is a sidechain that has a lot of adoption, and I did mention Matic, and Matic is another one that I wanted to take a look at. So Matic, we've got this pretty clear line in the sand as well. We need a break above 240. We'll call it 250. If we see Matic above $2.50, it's probably gonna take a nice extension here. Let's actually get some targets on the chart. For some nice extension targets, let's go down here. No, that's retracement. We need trend-based extension. From the low to the high to the low again. So for a very ambitious extension, sorry, we got to go to log. So for the 100% extension, we'd be looking at around a $5 to $6 Matic. So about a, what is that? 150. Yeah, 150% move from here. With kind of the more exuberant targets in the 10 to 20s. Now, I'm on a logarithmic chart, so this gives you kind of a macro potential, but you really need to drop down the significance of likelihood of each one of these targets. So if the 100% extension is moderately bullish and likely, great. The 1.272, which is at $10, significantly less, exponentially less likely. And then the least likely is that we get to the 1.618, which would be at around $23. It's really unlikely. So you want to develop your trading strategy or your take profit strategy around these numbers and their likelihood of being hit. So 5, we got a likelihood, it's a reasonable likelihood that if Matic goes bull, we can hit those targets. So if you are wanting to just take the Matic trade and you're not accumulating long term, you'd be closing a majority of the position at that level, probably about 50% of the position closed at that level. With some moon runners, the moon runner would be up here, and you could also just leave some as well. Crypto can surprise you sometimes, and Matic certainly surprised a lot of people on this extension right here. So crypto can absolutely surprise, so don't take everything. I wouldn't close. If you're bullish on a project, if you don't think it's a complete shitcoin like Shiba Inu or Doge, and you want to hold it long term, don't sell the whole position. Just don't. You'll end up regretting it. It's good to have exposure to the projects that you think are fundamentally sound, and you can trade within that thesis. You can trade your position sizes within that thesis. Just don't eliminate the entire position. I doubt they're actually watching the stream. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm venting. Just so sick of scammers. But you're right, they just come. They come and spam and leave. Cockroaches. Worthless. Useless. Actually, I think there is some sort of use for a cockroach. They like clean up the forest floor or something like that. They do something. Cockroaches have worth. All right, so another crypto that has my radar here for short is crypto.com, CRO. So I'm watching this one. I don't think this is going to really melt down, even though this extension was so large. Let's pull this up here. This was quite a large and advanced extension. Let's make this a little easier to understand. So very exuberant rally, and it's all just because, we had a celebrity on a commercial. So it's over exuberant. I would be looking to scoop up CRO, and I am looking to scoop up CRO somewhere around 40 cents. Anywhere from 30 to 40 cents I think would be a good value to buy CRO. Not saying we have to go there, but I am saying that this rally was very over exuberant and we've probably overpriced the asset. So I want us to come back down to kind of 40 cents, 30 cents to begin accumulating again, watch it trade sideways. Right now we're in a local downtrend, and that probably will remain to be the case for a while. First kind of check mark that we would be looking for is just a break of this downward sloping line of resistance. But even when we break this downward sloping line of resistance, because this rally was so fast, so quick, and so large, we'll probably just do something like this, where we break the resistance into a horizontal resistance and then trade sideways on top of support. So this is what I'm looking for an entry here on CRO. I want to see a floor hit. Right now we're in a downtrend, so there's no point in becoming a participant to the long side, because this trend will in theory just continue. When you're in a downtrend, it continues forever. That's the assumption that you have to make, is that the downtrend will not stop. That's how you as a trader need to think. It's not until you see a stopping of that downtrend and start trading sideways on top of a support, ideally, that you're like, okay, well, the downtrend has stopped. Something has changed. There's been a change in behavior of the price. There's been a change in behavior of the market participation. There's been a change. We need to observe this change to see if it will resolve in a downward move or an upward move. And then just a kind of a strategy talk with mainly the private group. But if you hold these tokens, it would be beneficial for you to hear this as well. I have been kind of a long-term holder of Stake XDAI. I think XDAI is a fantastic sidechain, really, really good sidechain, but they're having a merger. They're merging with Gnosis, and there's just so many unknowns with that. Like, when I look at the Stake chart, this is a long-term accumulation, kind of basically like an Adam and Eve formation or a double bottom formation, whatever you want to look at it. This is an accumulation range. It's a really healthy chart, which is why I became a participant in the first place, because it was a good product with good chart. So I took a position in this, and I've been holding the position for a while now. But Gnosis kind of had a big rally, and I don't really know. There's going to be a lot of drama with this merger, and this was a huge rally. So I don't know if we need to go through a reaccumulation. I don't know what's going to happen, but when Stake is gone and XDAI is gone and it becomes the Gnosis chain, is that going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be, just the context of the market overall? So if we are in kind of a bearish market, it'll probably dump. If we're in a bullish market, it'll probably pump. Long story short, what I decided to do is trade my Stake tokens. I was able to swap the Stake for Gnosis, GNO. And then I took the GNO over to an auction, and I auctioned it off for ETH, because it was actually kind of a nice arbitrage opportunity there, where I was able to get a good amount of ETH in return for the GNO auction. So that auction's over. Just wanted to let you guys know what my strategy is with this position, my position in XDAI. And right now it's neutral. I'm sitting in USDC, waiting for the dust to settle, waiting for some sort of direction one way or another. And then I'll see how I want to reallocate, because I think XDAI is a fantastic sidechain, really, really good. And it's without a doubt, if we can have this much bullishness on Avalanche and Polygon, having a stablecoin native sidechain is just, it's really positive. So for those who don't know how XDAI is different, if you're on Avalanche, you need Avalanche tokens. Avalanche tokens are volatile tokens, so they can go up and down in price. If you're on XDAI, the coin that runs the network, meaning the gas, the consumable, is a stable coin. So you can have a 1000x in the price of in the value of the network, but the gas won't ever increase. The gas will increase as users come on, but the cost of the token to run the gas will never increase. So it's a much more scalable solution. It's a much more dependable solution for those who maybe want to run a business or need to have some sort of standard variables in their business model. Having that stabilized asset to run the transactions, to process the gas, is really, really important, which is why I was so bullish on XDAI to begin with. But we're going to have to see how this one kind of pans out. So as it stands right now, I'm just going to see how it goes. We're going to let the dust settle in stables on this one. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much all the time I have. Just another quick update. There's really not a ton to go over. Bitcoin's sitting at support. It looks like we're rallying a little bit. We have a few checks and balances that we need to, we need to flash some bullish signals before we get that volume back in. And we just haven't flashed it yet. We need to just break out one of these highs. So if we can get above that 48, that's a good first step. Until that happens, we're just trying to prove this support level. So that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this stream, don't forget to leave it a like. Subscribe if you loved it. Leave it a like if you liked it. And yeah, if there are any projects you want me to take a look at, leave them in the comment section down below. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.